Hello viewers, and welcome again to the Woke Africa show. My name is Agyeiwaa, and as you all know, that this channel is about having the conversation, the important, much needed conversation. I just keep looking for the best topics for discussion that we can talk about. You can call me AJ for short. And hey, before I dive into talking and getting excited about the topic, I would like to thank all my new subscribers and existing subscribers. You guys are amazing. You have the patience to keep listening and to keep watching my videos, and I'm grateful. Now, today's topic is, I'm going to be treating reasons why the relationship between Africans and African Americans, is such a mess. And we'll, start right from the top so we can all understand this. So I'll definitely like you to stay tuned for this. It is an honor for me, people, to talk about this awesome human being, this man who fought and joined in the ranks for African liberation and African unity. A very good friend of our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, a strong Pan-Africanist who did everything he could to unite Africa, but the West didn't allow him to live that long to be able to achieve his aim. Well, so W.E. Du Bois said something key to the rift or the divide or the disconnect between Africans and African Americans, and he said that he describes very aptly how the negative view of Africa had influenced African Americans to dissociate themselves from Africa. The constant brainwashing, the constant media reportage, has kind of made most African Americans bury their head in the sand. When they've been reminded that their ancestry is from Africa. I've even in current day, I've watched certain shows that you find certain presenters being when they are having their DNA reveal, they are so excited to know that they're like 5% or 10% European. But, and then they don't even jubilate about their African origins, when this, some of them don't, when the DNA results come out. And it's all because of what we are talking about now. We have to talk about the issues and find solutions. So let's talk about one major misconception. Africans get head over heels, that our history is being taught to everyone else, just as we learn about everyone else's history. That is the biggest misconception that we have. We learn a lot about Western history, but I don't think our history is taught the way Western history is taught in our universities in Africa. And that is an understanding we must all have as we proceed with this conversation. Okay, so I've written down a few points because I don't want to be beating about the bush on these issues. Okay, so now the history that is taught about Africa, if anything at all, is quite negative, as we all are aware. But if you look at the history before colonization, in my university, I don't think much was done in that area, talking about who we were before colonization, who our ancestors were, the achievements they chalked, and other aspects. I don't think we were taught to understand much of that. So there is a disconnect amongst us as Africans, as African Americans, black people everywhere. We do not know our history, especially before the commencement of the slave trade. Who were we? Who were our people? Who were our ancestors? What did they do? We don't have much knowledge about that. So there's a disconnection, and there's the pain associated with African Americans, when sometimes the thought is that they sold us to white folks and they continue to enjoy being kings and queens, and we had to get sold and struggle and fight and be succumbed and accept the status of slavery, of being a slave, and fought their way through. The struggles of African Americans were just too deep. I mean, it's profound, and I'll be treating it as we go ahead. So what this conversation actually seeks to do is to try and bridge that communication gap, and also to kind of get an understanding of why we are where we are, where African Americans don't even want to be referred to as Africans, and they have such derogatory ways of describing African immigrants in the diaspora. And we are talking about this not to bring out our negatives, but to find out what our problems are, so we can deal with it head on. Because it's high time we come back home. It's high time we unite as black people. Look, it's high time we unite as black people. And I don't know, I've heard a lot of things that I want us to discuss on this channel. So you just think about what I've just said, okay? Because the conversation continues.